I finished week 6 of The Artist's Way. Let's talk about it. Actually, I don't even know if I can say I finished it because this week was a little bit of a flop. I'm enjoying the warm weather on my patio. A bit of a flop. I didn't do all the activities, and I think I had a hard time with the subject matter because it hits a little too close to home for me. This week is all about, let me read the title, Recovering a Sense of Abundance. So its focus is mainly on healing your relationship with money and how you view it. And for me, money has always been a tricky thing. We were not very well off, my family, when I was a kid, and I was always made very aware of that by my parents, which all love to them, but they did not keep us in the dark about it. So I kind of grew up with a very scarce mindset when it comes to money, and that has definitely followed into adulthood for me because I just view money as something that can easily slip away, is something that you need to work very hard to get. So I did focus on that this week. I journaled about it a good bit in the morning pages, and I did have a bit of a win. So I'm a server right now. I am trying to find something else, but that's what I do for the meantime, as well as, I'm an actor. And I was journaling about the prompt about God and abundance, and trying to accept the fact that God can provide for me, that if I put my faith in Him, that He's not going to leave me hanging, He's not going to leave me out in the cold. Like, I'm always taken care of, right? So the morning I was journaling about my money mindset and why I feel like I have to work so hard just to barely be scraping by. And I get a text from my manager because I was supposed to be working a double that day, and he said, does anyone want to take the morning off? This does not normally happen. But it was right after I finished journaling about that, and I was like, well, this is a good opportunity to put this new mindset in action. Like, can I trust that if I take the morning off and do stuff to give back to myself and kind of pamper myself, because that's what this chapter is about. It's learning to pamper yourself and bring back luxury into your life. Not luxury like diamond rings and fur or whatever, but whatever is luxurious to you. Like she said, it could be buying some fresh raspberries at the store. And yeah, so I just finished journaling about all that. Here's Teddy. And I was like, you know what? Let's try. I'm very dutiful. I always show up for my shifts. I don't really ever just take the cut when there are cuts. But I was like, I'm going to do it. Teddy, come back. Teddy. Anyway, I was like, you know what? I would like the cut. So I stayed home that morning. And usually on a weekday double, I'll make about 300 to 320. That's typically the norm. So I'm like, I might lose out on some money tonight, but that's okay. I go to work that night, and for some reason, we usually run with 4 servers, but we were only ran with 3, even though we had a good amount of covers, 60. By the end of the night, we had 100 covers, and we do a tip pool, but I made $500 that night. Some guy tipped me $100 on 170 just because he was nice and generous, I guess. And whenever all was said and done after the tip pool, we made $290, which is only $20 less than I would have made on the whole double, and I only worked the night shift 6 hours. Isn't that crazy? It's not crazy though. It's very synchronistic, and that was a nice win. But other than that, I like kind of flopped on the activities this week, and I kicked myself a little for doing so. They were less about writing. Like, I did all the writing prompts, but they were just like, I don't know, I just didn't get around to them. And I feel like there's some meaning to that, because I have this poor relationship with money that I need to work on, that I am just still a little blocked in that regard. So I'm going to try to do some of the activities that I missed last week this week. Little catch up. But all in all, I do feel like I am noticing changes with this. And change takes time. But I'm excited for this new week. I just read chapter 7, and the title is, what is it? Hold on. The title is Recovering a Sense of Connection. And that was a really good chapter. But I do want to read this part before I finish this, because I do have to go to work. Where did it go? This one just spoke to me, so I must read it. We are operating out of the toxic old idea that God's will for us and our will for us are at opposite ends of the table. I want to be an actress, but God wants me to wait tables in hash joints, the scenario goes. So if I try to be an actress, I will end up slinging hash. Thinking like this is grounded in the idea that God is a stern parent with very rigid ideas about what's appropriate for us, and you'd better believe we won't like them. The stunted God complex needs alteration. So I'm definitely going to be thinking more about this. But all in all, I am sorry to God for thinking that, basically, that like, if he can create this beautiful world, if he can make splendiferous things like rainbows and huge waterfalls, and just, you know, be such an artist and create such grand things, and if there is so much luxury and abundance out there in the universe, why do I think that it's gonna be like nearly impossible for me to get there? Why do I think that he wouldn't love me enough to want to bless me when I am doing what I love and creating what I want to create? Why do I think he's gonna be like, none for you? I don't know. It's something that I've been contemplating, and it's not a good enough excuse to be like, well, it's because it's what I was taught. Because sure, you can be taught a lot of things, but as adults, it's our job to unlearn what doesn't work for us, and relearn and reteach ourselves and reparent ourselves and nurture ourselves in the way that we need to be nurtured. So yeah, that's my thoughts on week 6. I'm gonna keep going. I'm not gonna like redo the week, because I did do like half the stuff. I'm just gonna take it as a lesson and keep going. But I'm excited for week 7. Now I'm halfway through this journey, and that's pretty crazy. I already really have felt a lot of changes. I know I say that every time, but it's true. So if you're here and you're listening, thanks for joining. Go sit in the sun if it's sunny. Yeah, I'll see you next week. Bye bye.